Hello everyone! Okay, so today we're going to be working on this card, and I got this idea or learned this technique from a fellow demonstrator named Melissa Banbury, so look her up, check her out, and she does really great work. I actually was trying to figure out how to do sort of a decorative edge on my cards, and it just wasn't hitting me how to do it, so I'm really glad that I found her video and now I know how to do it so I can pass it on to you guys as well. Alright, so let's get started. You're going to take a piece of Wisteria Wonder cardstock, cut at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. And you're going to take your floral framelit that looks like this. This is the largest one. And what you're going to do is you only want to cut the bottom edge, so you want to leave the folded part out of the frame. So you're going to slip it through like this, so that it's only cutting this bottom portion off and making that decorative edge like this. But one thing to pay attention to is that you don't want to roll the whole thing through. You only want to roll it through up to about here, because otherwise it'll do this sort of, it'll almost emboss this pattern or this framelit into this portion, and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to roll it through and I'll bring it back in a moment. You see that it's going to cut right through here. I'm just going to pull that apart. So instead of using the pretty print embossing folder for this, like I did here, the reason I'm not going to use it is because it's backwards. There's really no good way for me to do that and make it straight. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Perfect Polka Dots embossing folder for the front of the base card. And instead of using the Perfect Polka Dots for this piece right here, I'm going to use the Pretty Print embossing folder for that. It'll look like that with the nice pretty polka dots. Now, for one of the next pieces, I'm actually using, I think it's Concord Crush, which I believe is retired, but you can use Elegant Eggplant instead, so I'm just using the Concord Crush. I just showed you my work right there. I'm using the second to largest framelit when I cut it out. And I'm going to go ahead, before I do my embossing on this, I'm using my white Stampin' chalk marker, and I'm doing a nice little pretty faux stitch around it. So what you'll do is just go all the way around and start doing those faux stitches. Alright, and I've already completed that, so it looks like that. I did that already, so it would take a little less time. I just went all the way around and did the pretty little faux stitch. Just like that. So now I'm going to run it through my Pretty Print embossing folder, which looks like this. Alright, so I want one of these points to sort of line up with the base card, like that. So I want my words to all go in that direction. So I'm just going to line this up so that the point is lining up with one of those sentences. That's pretty good. So this is what you get when you're done with that. Pretty. I like it. Next thing I'm going to do is work on a piece on the inside, which I don't actually think I showed you. This is the inside of the card. Pretty. It's got that en français done in the Illuminate stamp pad. So what we're going to do is take the en français stamp. I love this stamp. It's one of my favorites. And the Illuminate stamp pad. And I'm just going to ink it up a little bit. I don't really need to ink the whole thing up. And I'm taking a piece of Whisper White cut at 3 1/4 by 4 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and just lay it down over top of that stamp. And I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper and I'm just going to put it on top of it and just start rubbing. See that? It's just a nice subtle kind of shimmery thing. It's so beautiful, and you can write over top of it once it's dry. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this piece of Wisteria Wonder, and I've used the 3rd largest framelit from the Floral Framelits set, and I've cut that out already. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my en Francais stamp again. And this time I'm going to use my silver metallic Encore pad. And then just ink that up a little bit. It's beautiful. Love it. So shiny. I love this. I love the en Francais, and then I love this silver ink on just about everything. And one thing that I like to do is I just take my heat tool on the low setting and I just go ahead and heat it up a little bit. Now I've also already used the Papillon Potpourri set, it's this one, and I used this butterfly with the pretty little flowers. I inked that up in the silver metallic stamp pad and I stamped it down on a piece of the Concord Crush. Alright, and then I punched it out using the butterfly punch, the larger one. Alright, so then you're going to take a piece of scrap Whisper White and the Remembering Your Birthday stamp set, and I'm using the A Birthday Wish that's just for you, and I'm going to ink that up in some Wisteria Wonder first, and then I'm going to just color in using the Concord Crush marker, or again you can use the Elegant Eggplant. I'm just going to color in the birthday. And now I'm using the Bitty Banners Framelit. I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to go ahead and run it through my Big Shot. So now what I did with this one was that I trimmed this side off. As you'll see, I made it just a straight line while leaving the banner on the other side the same way. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim it straight off. Then I took the Friends and Fun and Presents Too Happy Birthday stamp and I stamped it down using the Encore metallic ink on a piece of Concord Crush and punched it out using the Decorative label punch. Alright, and then I went ahead and took a piece of the Wisteria Wonder and used the Decorative label punch again and punched that out. I cut that in half, trimmed off the corners. So, because when you cut it in half, you're going to have like these little pointy kind of corners, and you don't want those to show up on the back, because what you're going to do is adhere these pieces together. So it looks like that. Cute. You're going to put some dimensionals on the back of that. And you're going to take some glue dots and put them on the back of this banner piece. And take a glue dot on the back of the butterfly. So I'm going to take 3 of the bigger basic pearls of the regular pack, not the jumbo size ones, just 3 of the biggest ones in the regular pack, and put those on the butterfly. And I'm going to take a basic rhinestone, the biggest basic rhinestone, and I'm going to put it right in the corner of the banner. Alright, so that's the front. Cute. Look how sparkly and gorgeous. Kind of love it. Before I put this on, I'm going to take 12 of these, the strip of basic pearls, and put them down here in the space between the And Presents Too and the Happy Birthday. And then I'm going to take 2 of the smallest ones and put them on the little corners. So when you're done, it looks like this. Cute. Okay, and one more thing. Because I felt like this was sort of bland, I went ahead and did a faux stitch around that portion. So that's it. Here's the original with the pretty print embossing on this piece and the polka dots on this piece, and then this is the sort of the reverse of that. I like them both. That's it. I hope you all enjoyed it. Until next time, happy stampin'!